Okay, you're not going to expect what I'm going to talk about today because, yes, it's about castor oil. You know, we all know about the power of castor oil. Not everybody can use it, but it is called a miracle oil for a reason, many reasons. But of course, we know the 4 qualifications that a castor oil should carry before we know that it's safe and it's a good one. At least the brand has to be, of course, a respectable brand, right? It has to be pure and organic. It has to be hexane-free. It has to be cold pressed. And it has to be bottled in glass, dark, amber colored jar or bottle, right? Now, the reason I'm doing this episode and why I did a lot of research and took me a lot of time is because one person commented on the video and said, all of this oil get stored in plastic containers before they are bottled, whether they're bottled in plastic containers or glass. They're stored in huge plastic containers. And I go like, there's something in there that needs to be proven, whether it's right or wrong. So I do appreciate that person who actually mentioned that, because there's that little gap. We're talking about glass bottled containers for castor oil. But indeed, how sure are we that in the manufacturing plant, this castor oil we're holding in a bottled glass jar has never really seen the light of day? Literally. This is my episode today, so you want to really write down notes. Maybe you won't have to write down notes, but you want to really pay attention because this is going to answer that question. And I don't think I've seen any content out there that talked about what happens in between. Welcome everybody to my channel. Oh my gosh, I'm recording this at the end of August. It's August 31st. And first of all, I want to thank you that we are close to 9,000 subscribers, our family. Well, my dream was to have 8,000 members of my YouTube family by August, by my birthday. I turned 63 last August 20th, and we are close to 9,000. 9,000 women who are supporting one another, who share common things, who love to look good, love to look healthy, and have beautiful skin, and just love to support one another. We are close to 9,000. Yes! Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching my video, for supporting my channel, for sharing my videos, because that goes to show that I must be sharing some valuable information. Okay, here we go. For those who don't know me yet, my name is Jackie D, and my goal is to help you find your better version, to help build your self-esteem. I call myself your rah-rah girl. Shake it to the left, shake it to the right. That's old school. You know, I'm 63, so that's a cheer that I know. But yeah, I'm here to support you, whether it's through mental health, makeup, fashion, skincare, exercise, living healthy, eating healthy, dressing up, hairstyle, anything that gives us self-esteem. I'm right there. I'm right there to boost your morale. Okay, let's talk about the manufacturing process. It's not a very exciting topic. It's not something that has all the frills and the laces and all that stuff. But yeah, it actually is important, because I ask you, what if the oil you're holding is indeed bottled in glass, but that actually passed through plastic container? If that's true, then the oil it's potent, right? Castor oil is very potent. Then it's already scrubbed everything from the plastic container, and now it's just being bottled, and it's bottling all the toxic elements of plastic. Here's what actually happens in the manufacturing process. First, these castor oil manufacturing companies have to have a huge plant. So huge equipment, devices, machinery and all that stuff. There are only a few countries that actually manufacture this. Now, it depends, of course, where the castor oil seeds come from. But India apparently has the most production of castor seed. These manufacturing companies have boilers, cookers, kettles, oil expeller machines, crude oil storage tanks, reaction vessel, bucket elevator, screw conveyor, oil storage tanks, volumetric filling machine, storage drums. and everything else that I don't understand. But because that's what my research says. But I did look at pictures. I went to their website. I even went to a website of a manufacturing company. These machines are huge. And mind you, these companies that make castor oil for our skin, they also make cooking oil, crude oils, castor oil, not for skin, but for other purposes. They are a manufacturing company for oil. It depends on what kind of oil they're manufacturing, and the process changes. Very first stage in the process is the harvest process. Once the castor beans mature and turn brown, they are harvested. And typically they're done by hand. They are then dried in the sun, causing them to split open and release the castor beans. Second, dehulling. The shell of the castor seed is actually opened, usually manually, or sometimes they have these dehulling machines. These machines are also called seed cleaner. Makes sense. Number 3, extraction. There are 2 kinds of extraction. One, and this is what we always talk about, cold pressing. The second one is solvent extraction. And I'm going to talk about these 2 as quick as I can, because I don't want to bore you with this stuff, right? But we want to find that answer. We have a mission today to really find out if these oils that are in glass bottles actually passed through plastic containers. Cold pressing means crushing the dehulled beans at a low temperature without the use of heat or chemicals. So this process produces high quality castor oil, but at a lower yield. Of course, you're not using heat, but you are extracting castor oil. And so that's why they say this method preserves the raw attributes of the oil better, because it didn't go through any heat, right? Second one, and listen carefully, solvent extraction. This extracts the oil from the castor seed using a solvent called hexane. The beans are crushed and treated with hexane to extract the oil. Solvent is then evaporated, leaving behind the crude castor oil. And that's when you go through oil expeller. Number 4, refining, filtration, and purification. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. After extraction, castor oil is filtered to remove impurities. This can involve multiple stages of filtration, including using fine mesh filters or centrifuges to separate any remaining solid particles. Number 5, quality testing. Just like any quality control, samples of the oil are tested just to make sure that the oil meets industry quality standards. This can include checking for viscosity, acidity, and absence of contaminants. Number 6, sterilization. The oil may be sterilized to eliminate any microbial contamination. So this can be done through heat treatment or by using UV light. Now, I know all of those sounded very, very technical and strange to our ears when we just want our skin to be good, right? We just want to be healthy. We just want to look youthful, right? But it makes sense. And now we talk about storage. So we're just imagining the process, right? Just imagine all of those machines now working to get our oil extracted from the seed. Now, storage. And this is where we want to really pay attention. The filtered and purified oil is stored in large stainless steel tanks to keep it fresh and free from contamination until it is bottled. So huge stainless steel tanks. We're not seeing any plastic yet before they are bottled. So now we're at this stage. What happens from here? I can see the bottles. I can see the tanks. What happens from here? The bottling process of castor oil after manufacturing involves several key steps to ensure the product is clean, safe, and ready for consumer use. Here's an overview of the process, and you're going to really like this part. Number 1, filling machines. The oil is transferred from storage tanks to bottling machines. These machines are designed to accurately fill bottles with the exact amount of oil required. You see them sometimes in laboratories or in manufacturing companies, Coca-Cola or whatever. You see these bottles, right, going through. That's exactly what the filling machines look in these huge plants. So from the stainless tanks, the oil is now transported through these huge pipes and they go straight to bottles. Bottle types. There are two bottles that can be used during this filling process: glass or plastic. There you go. These are the bottles that are already marketed. They can be marketed in, 1 liter size bottles, 500, or the small ones, the tiny ones. But how will you now know which bottles are being used? It actually depends on the brand, on the company that wants to market it. For example, Heritage Store markets their oil in glass ambered bottles. So, in these filling equipment machines, you now see the glass ambered bottles of Heritage Store already in line, so that when the oil is poured from the huge machines, stainless tanks, into the bottle, the oil did not touch plastic. So it depends on the brand. So that's where we talk about these brands. And I do have a PDF of the top 20 castor oil brands that came up in my research. And just a caveat, because I'm Canadian, North American, so most of the research results that I get will of course be reading my IP address. So it's showing North America, right? So there are definitely great European castor oil brands, Asian castor oil brands. So if you're from Asia, you're from Europe, I would recommend also checking whatever comes out in your search. Make sure to check the feedback from the public. Not the feedback from the company, but feedback from the public. You want to know how the public is reacting to the oil that they bought, right, from these companies. So that's just a disclaimer. These bottles are pre-cleaned and sterilized before filling. Capping. After filling, the bottles are capped using automatic capping machines. The type of cap can vary. Of course, you have the screw caps, the dropper caps, and of course, it's chosen based on the intended use and customer convenience. So when you see these bottles online being sold by these companies, as long as these are reputable companies, then you know that the oil in that bottle came straight from the stainless tank. Bottles are often sealed with tamper-evident seals to ensure that the product hasn't been tampered with after packaging. Now, of course, the final stage, it's the distribution. The labeling, the packaging, the storage and distribution. So I would say what plays a huge role in this entire process is that you trust the brand that you're buying the oil from. Because when they say that their oil is bottled in amber glass, then it means that that oil has not touched any plastic component. Once bottled and capped, they are labeled. Labels provide essential information such as the brand name, product details, usage instructions, and expiry date. Now, there are brands I noticed that do not carry expiry date. So remember, when you buy or when you check online, look at the expiry date because you want your oil to be effective and still fresh. They say normally 2 years is a good expiry date. So there you go. And that's why, in my opinion, it's better to buy the smaller bottles more than the big ones. Of course, it's cheaper by the dozen, but because you open the bottle every day, twice a day, it's exposed, it's exposed to the chemicals, impurities, the air. So the smaller, the less you finish it faster, and then you open another small bottle, right? That's my personal opinion. If you're liking this episode, don't forget to hit the like button. I forgot to remind you to hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, don't forget, hit the subscribe button. Subscribing is free and you get good information from what I share, research, learn from everyone, and put together and what I experience myself. So don't forget to comment, share. Somebody out there might need to know this information. It's very, very vital for us all. So don't forget to share. And also, we have to know that we have some responsibility when it comes to storage. Once we have the oil, we have to make sure we do not expose it to sunlight. We keep it in a dark place, not damp, but tap, not freezing, but keep it in a dark place. In your bathroom, underneath the sink, in your dresser, inside the drawer, because we have to also make sure we are preserving the life of the oil as best as we can. Okay. There you go. Did I answer your question? I'm sure that most of you did not even have that question, because actually I didn't even think of that until this one lady said that they're all in plastic containers. No, they're not. No, they're not. Manufacturing companies that are used by these huge brands are actually storing them in stainless steel tanks. I hope you found this information really useful. Of course, this is a disclaimer. I'm not an expert. I just do research and confirm by looking, reading, asking around. So always ask a professional. If you can get a second opinion, why not? It's always good to have many opinions, although sometimes then we get so confused. There's so many opinions, right? But yes, there you go. So this actually confirms the importance of really knowing the brand you're buying from. If you want a copy of that PDF where I have a list of the top 20 castor oil brands, don't forget you can always email me at wishuponapond@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to send you your castor oil list. I don't spam. I don't put you in newsletters or things like that. If you want to sign up for my newsletter, you can always go to my website and sign up for that. But otherwise, this one is just part of the service I give you, because I did my research anyway. What am I going to do with my research? If I know, then I know. But otherwise, I love sharing what I know. And that's why I'm sharing this PDF file with you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I hope I didn't bore you with all that process stuff. But otherwise, it's good to know, right? Definitely good to know. You take care of yourself. Remember, you are fabulous. Whether or not you have wrinkles, blemishes, age spots, whatever else, drop jaw, sagging, everything sagging, wrinkled neck, you are beautiful at every age. We get older every year, right? We can't stop that, but we have to enjoy every moment, because we're wiser, we're stronger, we're more compassionate, we're more generous, we're more understanding, and ideally, we're more confident. So take care. I love you all. Bye for now.